Song for Movie Podcast. Some are pretty good, but we'll just suck ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch with us, we're Cinema Buns. Let's go!
Hello and welcome to Cinema Buns. I see you.
God damn it! Fuck.
I'm Mike.
And I am Torok Makto.
He was reaching.
I was waiting for you to pull out your phone like quick Navi words. I gotta find one.
Nah, bitch, I don't need to look that shit up.
He says as
It's all in my heart.
He just finished cursing me out for
Yeah.
using the obvious Avatar line. Yeah, if you haven't put it together, I feel sorry for you. We're talking about Avatar 2, The Way of Moist. And that was a movie.
It was Avatar Book 1 Water.
I will admit,
Book two
Tessa,
water.
just right off the bat, it is a very beautiful movie to watch.
Yeah, I guess
Gorgeous.
we'll get right into the visuals because this
part of the
movie
movie.
took 13 years to come out, and it was entirely because they needed the CGI budget to catch up.
It's one of those things where a director has a vision and technology has yet to keep up.
And meanwhile, he's sitting in the production booth with a whip, and the CGI animators and artists are in there. He's like, "Work! Make technology better!" And they're like, "Sir, we're doing the best we can. We've got 20 GPUs and they can't catch up. Make it work!"
They're like literally building it from the ground up, a whole new program.
I want people to get moist.
There's something about film media or video media that always tries to push the boundary of like technology, because I don't know if you know this, but like HD streamable video is because of the adult industry.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I think not from personal experience, by the way, not from from hearsay. I think some people. I've
what?
heard
What?
Some people
What was
say,
that? Personal experience? What?
A lot of strides in VR video is from the adult industry.
You know, I heard the same thing. As a man of God,
As a man of the cloth.
I too hear these
Yeah.
rumors.
Yeah. You know.
The whisperings in the void.
Yeah.
The
That-
reason YouTube offers 360 video and VR video and
I mean, Kevin, you and I both know we're talking about Ritter, but like, come on.
Oh, whoa, whoa, motherfucker. Stop saying it so loud.
and also they were probably like the safest. Their workforce is, and like employers are probably like were the safest people to work for, especially during the pandemic, because like people
The
are
adult industry?
yes,
Oh yeah,
because
dude,
they're-
they were like,
because they're
I remember
constantly
seeing-
screened for
yeah.
health.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
was reading an article actually about that because I thought it was funny and very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like with the amount of
Not only
work
that, but
they
their
do.
industry must have seen a ginormous boom during pandemic.
Oh, it did.
Everyone's home and bored. I've been playing this video game for 8 hours. I want to do something active.
Yeah, no,
I can work out my right arm.
There was an article talking about how like OnlyFans blew up.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, OnlyFans blew up because of the pandemic. I mean, it was going to blow up no matter what, but it like saw like
Yeah, but
heightened
then they
increased
thought
numbers.
about banning explicit content and then backed out of that real quick
Yeah,
when they
'cause-
realized they were going to lose 90% of their profit.
which is wild.
I think that also happened with Patreon, because like adult content creators also used Patreon before OnlyFans was a thing, to distribute like
Really?
private content, and then OnlyFans Patreon was like, stop selling porn on our website.
Yeah. I know that's what happened to Tumblr, and that's why Tumblr is no longer existent.
Well, it was bought over by Yahoo,
Yeah.
and Yahoo ain't about that. I think Tumblr still has like a community.
Sure.
So yeah, the Avatar movie.
Yeah.
And you can tell how invested we were in this movie.
The Way of Nipple.
Yeah.
So, yeah, visually, obviously fucking gorgeous.
Mhm.
Probably the best looking CGI I've seen in a movie. There were I don't know. Anything that I disliked about the movie had nothing to do with its visuals.
I would argue that the visuals alone would be worth enough to see this movie like in IMAX
Oh yeah.
alone, even though I wasn't in on the
Why'd you put
storyline.
some emphasis on alone, Mike?
No,
These visuals.
like when I like alone, like as in like if I wasn't like
It's
'cause-
just one aspect that entirely
Yeah.
sells the movie.
yeah,
to me.
it's like its biggest like asset, I guess.
I mean, like that's why it made the first movie made so much money in like
Right.
2009. Other than just because IMAX 3D tickets are much more expensive, that's where a lot of like
Yeah.
the box office.
I
revenue
also
came
know
from.
during that time we had very recently gotten out of the 3D movies where it uses the red and blue glasses and
those were
finally
the
got
days.
to like
like
because
polarizing lenses.
Yeah.
Let's get into the nitty gritty of it, the story.
Nitty, the gritty, and the titty.
Yeah.
well, what did you think?
Kevin, our resident nipple watch expert.
Well, no, the expert needs to go last. He needs to hear our amateur opinions on the storyline before he puts in his
Okay.
like,
All right. So obviously
expert.
we're gonna do spoiler free first, but this movie did not need to be this long.
I agree.
You can easily cut about 30 to 45 minutes from this movie. And you know what? That would have made it the same length as the first movie. And you would have been fine. I don't think you would have lost anything worthwhile to the story or anything by cutting that much time from it.
Yeah, because I felt like he was just more flexing. Like, we spent all this money on these visuals. We need to like really squeeze as much in there as possible.
Yeah.
Because some scenes I feel like went on for a little too long. I would say the story. I don't completely agree with how they went about certain things. I feel like they could have gotten the same, like scene to scene movements with a few tweaks on the reasons for going to those tribes.
What?
What? Hold on.
Like,
I was
I'm a
trying
little
to follow you for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you
Like,
Listen, someone who's on a similar page as you, even I'm confused what you're talking about.
His reasons for leaving his tribe,
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like could have been tweaked because I have a better. I in my personal opinion,
You thought there
was a
should
better-
have been a better reason for him to meet the Metcallinas?
Yeah.
Or go to the Metcallinas?
yeah, and we'll get into spoilers sections for that. I'm just gonna put my 2 cents in saying there. I feel like there could have been a better reason for him to leave.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I'll give this movie credit. It did not take an hour for it to get to plot. Plot happened real quick.
Yeah,
But then it took an hour for more plot to happen.
Also true.
Plot gets introduced. Plot drought. Plot. As for like the last half hour of the movie,
Now,
you get shotgun blasted with plot.
I think I would argue the last half hour of the movie is because that wasn't like plot. There were things happening, but a lot of it was just like a bunch of world building, and then it's an action movie for the last hour.
Yeah.
And like not a lot of like world building and details really happened in that last hour. It was like just kind of like a lot of
No, there
action
was
and, like,
some.
stuff.
There was some, which we'll get to later. Also, Jake Sully is a pretty shit dad. Like, throughout the entire movie, he's just a complete fucking like. Yeah, he's playing the protective father, like archetype, and it works most of the time. However, there are situations where, like, objectively, he handles it just incorrectly. And he's just an ass to his own kids.
You
like-
think so?
Yeah.
I would argue against that he's like coming from a military background, and he's like very much a loner little brother type thing, which is like kind of like the one of the beautiful things that mirror the first and second movie together. because Loak being the second child and him being also the second child, they kind of just like mirror and complement each other,
Yeah,
and that they also kind of go through the same process. He's a little bit. It never explains how Jake's relationship with his father was like.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would like to imagine it was similar to how Loak felt about his relationship with his father. So,
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
You can say you would like to think that, but that's not what we're shown. You're just you have to make assumptions to make it work better.
I didn't really have a problem with like how he was as a parent.
it made sense to me.
Yeah, it made sense to me too. Like I'm not probably in the detail that Kevin was going into. Just I didn't see any problems with it personally. But that's fine. It is what it is. But yeah, that's like difference in opinions there.
Yeah. I will say I do think it's weird that Jake has spent at this point 10 years?
I think it's more than 10, right? Because his
His
kids are like
I'm
and they're
assuming they're in
teenagers.
they're teenagers, yeah. But
Like one of them's almost an adult.
so we'll say conservatively at least 12, right?
I believe.
No, it's like
I think official documents actually probably say 11 or 12 or something. Because like the beginning of the movie is a time skip, and then about like 45 minutes in is another time skip of 1 year.
Yeah.
man, I thought they were like 16 or something like that.
The thing, so
I thought the oldest brother was like 16.
so something to think about. Is Spider the human stray cat older than Nateum, the oldest brother?
I'm going to say that's a good point.
He would have to be.
that is a good point.
He technically
Because
would-
he would have been a baby during the first movie,
right.
and then Nateum, the first child, is born.
That's true.
But like Nateum acts and like looks older.
Well,
than-
people mature at different pace.
Yeah. So the
I'm gonna look it up.
theory that I am thinking, and I haven't like fact checked this yet, but I think like the Na'vi age faster and reach adulthood like sooner than humans.
Maybe. I don't honestly know. I'm going to look it up right now.
Maybe. I
Because like if only 11 or 12 years have passed since the first movie, and that's including the 2 time skips at the beginning, then those are like then Nateum and Loak are like on the cusp of like growing up into adulthood
yeah.
at age like 11, 12.
It's theorized that the eldest might be around 15 years of age.
Doesn't matter. We don't have any confirmation on that. But during that time, I think it's weird that Jake hasn't adopted more of the Na'vi like culture.
You think so? I think he
Like
adopted a lot.
No. He's knowledgeable on a lot of it, but I feel like I would have liked to have seen him gotten more comfortable and been doing more stuff with like Na'vi weaponry and whatnot. 'Cause like
You want him to do like use spears and
yeah,
arrows?
I wanted to see something with that, something that shows progress in him. Because basically, as soon as shit starts happening, he's right back to like with his gun.
Well, that's because of what he's trained and comfortable with.
I understand, but after 15 years
of
with
peace,
Of
of
peace,
not
man.
fighting,
Not fighting.
okay, yeah,
of not using a weapon, and
Does-
then he has to like
doesn't
pick up
matter.
his gun
The
again.
Na'vi still train warriors.
Yeah, but he's like raising kids and using like a bow to hunt and fish and
He's
stuff.
Yeah,
also
I mean,
the
so
he can
chief
use a-
of a tribe.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he can.
So he can do hand-to-hand combat
like
and
he's
stuff.
showing Nateum how to use a bow.
Yeah.
I was wanting to see more cool Natiri moves from him also.
Well, he does. He already has his own set of skills that he is very
I'm-
well addressed in. So I feel like why not use the skills you know you can do really well at a high performance?
And I think there's also like kind of a writing aspect to that in order to differentiate
I
both
guess.
Jake and Natiri, that Jake would still use his military training and
Right.
still use the same sensibilities and equipment that he has.
I don't know. It
From
just
his
kind
old
of
life.
felt. It felt less like a progression of the character and more like they copied pasted Jake from 1 and put him in 2.
Because I feel like it like he's adopted a lot of their culture. These are
Yep.
just things that are just a part of him as like him.
You're also deposited when the humans return, and so he kind of has to go back to
His default.
to to
Okay.
go back to his all military training.
'Cause-
And you're like saying that like there should have been more him hanging around being Navi and shit, but you also want to cut stuff from
No,
the
no, no.
movie.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that in the parts that were kept, I kind of wish we saw more of like aspects of the Na'vi that he kept.
Yeah, so he
that
knows.
he learned.
He's learned a bunch of the culture and like.
Which I'm saying at this point, after like discussing it, I see where you guys
Yeah.
are coming from, and
Right.
maybe that's just like a little thing that I wished happened,
Right.
and not like a nitpick.
Gotcha.
But I'm trying to think of what else to talk about without spoiling anything.
It's hard because well, we can do like the main overarching thing,
'Cause I
which is
feel-
like the humans coming back. Their new thing is
Earth is dying.
Earth is dying, and they want to.
That's something implied in the first one,
Yeah.
and then that's something that's confirmed in the second one.
Yeah. We can also and their new goal is just to terraform the planet.
Oh, they also want whale brain
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
because it just
throw away
stops
that.
the aging process. It
There's
stops it.
uh
No more aging.
because like if you understand how all of living things on Earth age,
Yeah.
it has something to do with like our chromosomes and like how the alleles at the edges of the chromosomes like decay and like how our cells stop cloning themselves.
Yeah,
Eventually there's a degradation in our
Yeah.
DNA and like they stop healing and shit.
Right.
So, my theory is that the what's it called?
The
Amarita. It's like,
Yeah.
it's either like stops that
extends it or something like that.
because like there are animals that like theoretically are immortal. They just have
Yeah,
to
like
not get
From
lobsters.
crushed.
the Tolkien.
Yeah,
Like the lobsters and stuff.
Lobsters
Yeah.
technically can live forever.
It's just
but
that they get disease that kills them. if
no.
they get
Actu-
crushed by their own like shells or something.
So what happens is eventually they just won't have the strength to break from their own shells anymore, and they'll suffocate and die
Oh, okay.
because
I thought it was like a disease because they can't molt their next shell.
no, usually they molt in order to get bigger
Right.
as they get older, but eventually like the size of the shell versus the strength they need to break through it, like the balance is lost, so they can't break through their. So like you said, they can't molt their shell when
Right.
they die.
I thought that was a disease. I bet it's just a natural thing. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay.
But they probably also get succumb to disease.
Yeah.
But
Well, so what you're saying is we need to like breed a lobster and break its shell for it so it can keep
no,
growing
because
and
then
getting stronger.
no, because then we're gonna have Dark Souls lobsters that are the size of a city bus.
Hell yeah, and I'm gonna ride the back of that thing.
Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. No, we are gonna do that because if we get bus-sized lobsters, then that's an excuse for us to make those rad-ass crab robots,
Hell yeah.
Or
and we can have crab bots, baby.
or when lobsters get big enough and they molt their shell in perfect integrity and like all in one piece,
Yeah.
yeah.
we can put wheels and windows on that
Okay.
Battle bots, but it's just actually piloted mechs with like lobster armor.
shit. I just want Monster Hunter to be real. As much as like a nightmare in the real world monsters from Monster Hunter would be, but like just that we can take the carapace of a giant
and make
monster,
cool shit.
cool shit out of it.
So, other than John, how do you think the other characters?
Who's
Jake.
John?
Jake, my bad, Jake.
Jake Sully.
Jake Sully. Other than Jake, how do you think the other characters were?
I thought the children were decently fleshed out. I will say, each child had a distinct personality.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is surprising. Because in most movies, when you have a cast like this, it is very common for one of the kids to kind of be grouped with another one as just like these kids
Yeah.
and stuff.
There's one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie is that each of those characters, each of the kids have their own like just kind of mini movie intertwined. throughout the entire film.
Except every time shit goes wrong, it's always all the kids at the same time.
That's
There's
also
never one kid that's just getting grass or making food or something.
No, that's
Everyone is involved in every shit sandwich.
no, that's Nateum. That's Nateum's
Yeah.
at home and he's just playing video games.
Yeah. The eldest brother just being a good, like, just
Yeah.
doing right, and then always like,
No, yeah,
crap.
because every single time the kids like, and I actually something I did like.
Realistically, this only happens like twice.
Yeah.
I say 3 times.
Oh, you know what? I would agree 3 times. Yeah, I'm thinking of 2.
Shaq,
3.
Whale, and then
The ammunition stuff at the very beginning when they want to help.
No,
I
we're
mean,
talking about with all the kids.
Oh, with all the kids? I'm taling about situations where the older brother gets roped into things.
Shaq, Whale, then Whale again.
Oh yeah, Whale twice.
what 2 whales are there?
So initial Whale when he does the thing, and then secondary Whale when
For the
the
warning.
big thing starts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that sounds so annoying to our listeners right
And
now.
we
but it's
apologize.
but
We're
it's
trying.
like it's it was during the last Little Rascals moment
Yeah.
where
There are plot things happening that
Where,
we're trying to
uh,
avoid.
Loak is calling Dad, and then he's like, "Who's there?" Everyone, and and my brothers and sisters, and like I was like, "Oh shit, not again!" It's like every time.
It was and literally Jake's like, I'm gonna fucking die from a heart attack because of these kids. I will say one thing I liked is kind of like, and I guess this goes against my argument previously of I wanted more Na'vi stuff for Jake. I kind of like the commingling of the human and Na'vi with their kids.
Yeah.
To where it feels like half of the kids have those like throat radio things that Jake had, and it's just like, nope, this is an easy way for us to keep in touch. The kids have picked up some slang from their dad.
Yeah.
Except I feel like they used it too often. I kind of feel like growing up in Na'vi culture with some interaction with humans, yeah, you're gonna know slang, but I don't think me watching an Australian show doesn't mean I'm gonna start calling people daubers.
Well, no, I think they used it because I think of it more as their immediate family would use slang a lot.
Yeah.
Because in
Okay.
Especially if you have like siblings of the same
Yeah.
And they're
age,
also
and you're all
hanging out
just-
with the scientists
yeah,
and stuff.
like when
but-
when I hang out with my brother, I talk like a stoner. Like
is
it's
that
just
because your brother is a stoner?
no, but he has that. he was a skater boy.
And
Yeah.
she said, "See you later, boy."
Yeah, exactly.
And-
So he just has that like tone of voice, and I just happen to mimic it a lot. With
I
him.
would like to, cause like so it. One of the funny things from the beginning of the movie, where it's like it's just very surface level writing, where he's like, "Took me a year to get the language down, but now it's indistinguishable from English."
And then it just
then
translates to English.
Yeah, so the two kids are speaking Na'vi, and
And
then the subtitles fade out, and then the 2 kids are now fighting in English.
I kind of appreciate
No,
that. 'cause
I
didn't want
under-
to.
I
I thought that
understand it.
was cool.
Yeah.
But when you start reincorporating humans that don't know Na'vi,
It does get a little
at
confusing.
what point are they speaking Na'vi / speaking English?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does get a little confusing. I'll agree with that. But
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that they just kind of did it anyways.
Because like you can't have an entire movie
Yeah.
wherever they're speaking a fake foreign language.
Actually,
Yeah.
yes, you can. It's called subtitles.
Yeah,
I know.
Movies do that, Kevin.
But no, Jim
One of
can't-
them won Best Picture, Parasite.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's a difference between like a movie being in its native tongue and then having subtitles.
Are
to
you
a
saying
movie...
Na'vi is not a native tongue?
I mean, like I think it's not as
I don't want to even justify that with an answer.
it's not as like well fleshed out as like Klingon.
Yeah.
No.
because people can
Yeah,
speak
people can-
Klingon.
yeah,
That's a
people-
college course
Yeah,
you can
but
take.
they're nerds.
But like yeah, Jim Cameron wants $50 billion. He's not gonna have an entire movie where like 75% of the audience
not-
is gonna like stand up because they can't read subtitles.
Right.
He's not Tolkien, who inherently was already a linguist.
Yeah.
and is
And
like, I'm
devel-
gonna invent elf language.
And dwarf. And everyone's like, why? Here it is.
What was that one?
It's based
Like,
off Swedish.
What didn't he like write Lord of the Rings because he just wanted a way to put his language to some use?
No.
Like, the languages he created to some use.
He decided to start writing Lord of the Rings, and it was
because
during
World War One happened.
Yeah.
and he needed some way to like cope. Yeah,
that's literally why he wrote it. But he started writing the languages because he's like, I want to flesh out this world. I want it to feel alive.
Gotcha.
that's it. That's something that I feel like I would be doing if I were to make like if I had to be in a
If he
position.
wasn't building Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic decks.
No, but like if I was put in a situation where I was world building like for a book or a movie or like a video game, I would be like, all right, so they have a language system. Might as well invent a language just so that I stay
Yeah.
consistent. Oh, they invented a way to time travel. Might as well just invent the inventor of time travel and like to completely flesh out his theory and how he came about his experiment and also his entire life leading up to how his experiment came out and
As
made him
Kevin
famous.
as Kevin turns around and go, where'd these 20 manuscripts come from?
But as I was saying before, I would love to hear just kind of like a third person POV where suddenly when Loak says that's called a punch bitch. It's he starts speaking Navi.
Punch, bitch. That would have been great.
Something like that. But they do stuff like that because like whenever the military start interacting with other Navi, they start speaking Navi.
Yeah.
And the other like the
Yeah.
enemy is speaking English. So there are clear lines of like language designations there, but when it's all just Navi characters on screen, then they're all just speaking English.
Yeah.
Some with an accent, some with not.
Yeah. I will say a lot of the technology stuff they show is kind of cool, but some of it is really fucking weird and why did you put that in there? That's so dumb. Like the fucking the general lady who has like an exoskeleton that just makes her as tall and have as much reach as a Na'vi. And they literally built a Na'vi-sized punching bag so she could train on it. It's like, that's so cool. Why?
You could think of it more as maybe that's like the training like suit you would use before so you can be comfortable in like
it does
the actual
not
like
have even close to the same controls as like the exo like suits. Though.
I don't know. We haven't seen any. We don't know.
Yeah,
what
we
the new-
have.
No, yeah, we've seen the old ones. We don't know if they have new ones that are better.
I doubt it.
Press
I mean,
X
like,
for
yeah,
doubt.
you can argue that, like, yeah, she's just boxing in the exosuit so that
No, because you see them later too.
Yeah, and-
like some random soldiers have them, but like, I don't know. I felt like I didn't. I mean, it was still like a weird thing. I wish I could have seen them do something with it that
I would agree with you on that.
that
I
made
would have
me
liked
see
to-
like, okay, there's a reason why you made the more like just bare bones skeletal,
which are
Yeah.
just
one.
limbs.
Yeah. Like if I saw something that they were doing that kind of made more sense for that, okay, cool. Like maybe it's a more
Maybe
mobile.
that's for the third movie.
Well, I maybe I could have seen them like doing like more
Lifting things.
lifting,
Or building or whatever.
build, or maybe like heavier weaponry, not as heavy as like what the big exo suits had,
Yeah.
but still heavier than what a normal person would be carrying.
What if they're like Gundams and so like they're like they just can attach things onto these exoskeletons and customize them, and that's why they're just skeletons.
There's
but
some-
then they have like
There's
suits that can-
some nerd soldier that has his looking like a unicorn Gundam, just like.
So
How does this help you fight the Na'vi? It's not for fighting the Na'vi. This is just for me.
No, it makes it makes them faster.
No.
the flames
It makes them fly.
The flames make it faster.
Yeah.
There's a clip you can look up from an anime called Gunbuster, and it's just a line of mechs doing sit-ups.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you need the robot? Why do you need the mechs to do sit-ups? You're the one piloting it. It's not like they're exercising.
So Mike and I have taken up a bunch of time. Kevin,
All right, Kevin.
resident Na'vi and Avatar expert, captain of Nipple Watch.
Don't put that on me.
Yeah, professor.
Don't point out my curse.
All I know is that as soon as the movie ended, Kevin leaned over and went, "Okay, 2 nipples were confirmed in that movie."
Kevin, the professional linguist of Navi.
So what? So spoiler free. What did you think of the movie?
I like it much more than you guys, and I'm going to take this entire episode to blue pill, both of you.
Oh boy, he's
To
gonna
like
die
in
on
this
this
movie.
hill. Here we go.
Okay. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about, or are you waiting until spoiler?
So, the characters, like I said, are all, I think that like the incredibly like fleshed out, the world is incredibly like rich, and like either, of the kids are like their own like mini movies.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few of the kids that don't really have much to do, but it's already like kind of just like it's a bit thick on the story to have each of them do a thing. So
Right.
I like that they're kind of just like simple. So kind of like one of the downsides is that Tuk and Natam are both, they don't really have much to do. Natam's is pretty much just that he is like, since he's the firstborn, he has like a lot of responsibility, but he doesn't like get into trouble that much. But there are like little snippets of like his character that gets to show up,
Right.
like when he's defending his sister, or when he's basically whenever he's
Defending
his
one of
family.
his family members.
But Tuk is just basically because she's the youngest, she doesn't do much.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's
so
fair.
she's it's fair. She's just kind of like there as like she's a little kid, so she always wants to tag along with her big brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And the only like kind of just pieces of character that she has is that she's super playful, like she's bouncing around.
Yeah.
She has a sense of naivete, because like there's like that scene when they first meet the Metcaina, and Ronal says that yes, you can stay, and Jake is like, what do we say? She like genuinely smiles and says thank you. Everyone else is like shamed thank you, and like
And anger because the wife just came in and dressed them all down
yeah,
and
both
roasted them.
Natiri and Kiri are like thank you eyes roll.
Yeah.
And like Loak and Natam are just like thank you eyes cast down, and Tuk is just like thank you.
I saw this post that made me laugh more than it should have, and I hate it. Someone posted Jake trying to hold Natiri back for the whole movie is a guy whose Latina wife is getting angry.
Yo.
So no, yeah, like at every turn, Jake is like, honey, come on, honey, thank you, honey, just leave him alone. And Natiri's like, I will fucking kill them. Okay, are we ready?
How's everyone's performances? Do you think like, because like I think
no one was out of character for me, and I think that was good.
I feel like Zoe Saldana like really was distinguished and like in a class of her own, apart from like everyone else.
Can you tell me who that is?
That's Natiri, the wife.
Okay.
Everyone like was acting was great, but like she was.
I felt like hers felt more of what I would expect a Na'vi to be like.
She's the most traditional Na'vi.
She is definitely the most.
And I
traditional.
feel like she has the most like kind of experience out of all of them.
But what's
Or
funny
takes it the most
is
seriously.
like we shouldn't compare her to the kids and stuff, because based on what we talked about, the kids have become like an amalgamation of human and Na'vi culture.
Right.
They're Na'vi Americans.
Ah!
I'm leaving.
Shoot.
I'm gone.
I mean, like I don't know where Jake is from, but he has like kind of like that Brooklyn thing going on. So.
But
God.
oh my god, I keep forgetting the name. The Water Tribe.
The Metcainas, if you want to go by their traditional name,
They
Just say the water guys.
the Reef people.
I feel like the chief very much feels like a kind of traditional Na'vi, as does the wife. But like the rest of the tribe, even like the kids that have been interacting with Jake's kids, I feel like they don't seem. They also almost seem like human amalgamation.
I don't
Like
think so.
in the way they talk and the way they act, just a little bit. It's not a lot. It just kind of feels less traditional, like Natiri does. But again, that's a nitpick. I'm not saying that's a reason to detract from the movie. It's just something I noticed.
So I think Aonung and his boys are kind of like a screenwriting thing where they're like, we need to distinguish them as like teenage boys who like are bullying the new guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they carry a lot of like stereotypical mannerisms of like what you expect to see in a movie bully, which is like not my favorite thing. I don't like bullies in movies that just act like
Bullies just because.
just like bullies for push-up nerds in locker rooms. But like I get that you want something like that's easily conveyable, that has like some that's like ingrained in movie language. Like these are the people that you're supposed to have as the antagonist against these kids' small character, like within their own character
Circles.
arcs. But I do like that they do eventually have their differences like resolved
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie.
Oh, that actually does remind me of a non-spoiler thing I wanted to discuss that kind of was weird. The ocean feels way less diverse than the forests.
I just think we didn't get enough of the ocean. I think there was a lot of like distinction. I just think we
So
didn't-
weird.
Because we see like 4 types of sea creatures.
So
Yeah.
weird angel jellyfish, Navi shark, Navi whale, Navi plesiosaur dolphin.
yeah, and
There's
then
2 types. There's
Oh, and
And
then
then-
the alligator gar.
yeah,
thing.
so there's the EU, which doesn't fly, and then there's the Warriors, like one that's not a. I don't know if they have a name for it yet.
Yeah.
They set a name for it, but it's what the Warriors and the Chiefs use.
yeah,
And
because we get other sea creatures.
it's just that it's like so quick.
Yeah,
and,
it's very
like,
quick.
and they're just kind of like they're just fish.
Yeah,
If I remember from the original movie, you had like space dog, fireflies.
Space panther.
Was there like a giant boar?
There was a horse.
Yeah, they had their
There was like
the
giant
Ikras.
hammerhead thing, like space dragons,
Yeah.
super space dragon.
I mean, like there is on Earth.
Oh, skimwing,
Sure.
or are also known as Trishrock.
Sure. Good attempt.
I just searched up Avatar 2 creatures. That's all I looked for. But I think we need to get into spoilers. So 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
story was not that good.
Shut up.
I mean, the story is like a 6 out of 10.
Listen, just like with the first Avatar, the story is pretty white bread, like basic.
I just don't like the reason why he left his tribe. I think is like the thing that gets me the most. Like I'm fine with everything else. I'm just not liking the reason why he left.
So here's my argument.
For it
here-
or against it?
both.
Okay.
So he left because the kids went to the shack and the general's back.
Quaritch and Blue Squad.
Yeah. Who immediately
Squad.
tattoo up their
I
arms
forget.
exactly like they did before.
Yeah.
You see them fucking working out and
That's
stuff.
probably one of my favorite scenes though. Is like
Just
they're kind of
Marines
they're kind of lanky when they first come out of their pods, and then like they get a quick like
They're huge.
a time skip, and then they're all buff, and I'm like, yeah.
I did ask Mike, I'm like, would this be how Navi Marines would be? And he's like, there's not enough crayons, but pretty close. So they're back and the kids get in danger because this whole squad, their only focus is hunting down Jake.
Yeah. After
After this one incident, Jake goes, we need to go. I feel like if you want to keep it that length, you can dedicate some of that time to show a little bit more of like maybe Blue Squad starts finding some of the hidden outposts of the like forest tribe and starts like hammering them, starts putting innocent like women and children and stuff at jeopardy. They're getting closer to him and he's like, they are specifically targeting me. I need to get out to protect them. Like, I wish there was
I needed more of a
that.
threat. I needed a bigger
Exactly.
threat.
I needed something more than, because in my opinion, this kind of made Jake seem like a coward. Because he's like, oh, my kids were in danger once, even though they've been part of the war bands attacking humans. Time to go.
Because here's my thought process on this whole situation, right? So, okay, so they're already fighting the humans.
Yeah.
Already.
Like, they're doing raids on their trains and stuff like
and
that.
the humans are actively already searching for their hideout already.
Yeah.
Before even Blue Team. So no matter what, they're always under threat. So Blue Team just adds an additional threat to the already big problem is they're still going to be fighting them.
So
So it doesn't change much because you don't see you don't see Blue Team as a big enough threat to be like, I need a way to distract these guys so they don't like get to the tribe.
So I think
Because
so something I feel like could have been maybe like brought up in the conversation Jake has with Natiri about leaving is the fact that Blue Team are all Na'vi. So the quote unquote like nature's immune system isn't targeting them.
right.
So that is not brought up in the conversation, though. It's just brought up as, like you said,
As a
just
byproduct.
an additional threat. But, like, there's no good reason brought up for why they should leave the tribe. So, like, I felt like if there was more more circumstances, like, where, okay, it is actually for the betterment of, like, the tribe that me and my family need to go.
Like, because if I would have seen, like, oh, they are actually, like, getting closer and closer, like, they're actually, like, becoming, like, they're penetrating, like, getting to, like, the inner sanctum of their tribe, then I could see, like, oh, they don't even really care about, like, trying to, like, destroy outposts. All they care about is getting to me.
Yeah.
If I can steer them away, I could at least get rid of that one threat.
And what's weird is, like, I think later it's brought up that they did it for the benefit of the tribe. But
it
in
wasn't-
reality, it was a selfish decision just for his own family.
Yeah, because, like, he really didn't need to leave because they weren't really doing anything. So that was any different than what the humans would have tried to do anyways.
Yeah, the inciting incident that caused him to decide to do that, I don't think was inciting enough to, like, justify his decision.
Because the moment they decide to finally start acting like Na'vi and trying to learn, like, the culture, Jake already left.
Yeah.
He already left.
Yeah, but that was the reason. They wanted to learn the culture in order to find out where Jake went, in order to, like, find him. I would
Yeah, but-
argue that because, if I remember correctly, the Shack is, which is their, like, secondary
No,
like
they don't.
avatar control outpost.
No, it's just a...
No, it was the Renegade outpost they set up in Avatar 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
but
it has
it's
no
not-
value to it.
But they haven't touched it since Avatar 1.
Yeah, because it's dangerous and like that's a traumatic place that your parents fought, and so don't
Yeah.
go there.
But it
that's-
held no, like, strategic value.
So I would argue if the Hallelujah Mountains have done a fantastic job in hiding the Amatakaya people.
Mm-hmm.
And all Jake has been doing is attacking a strategic outpost and like crushing their supply lines at the outskirts
Oh,
of where their territories are.
Right.
sorry to interrupt. Something else that was brought up in Avatar 1 that actually is not indicated in this movie. Something else that was an issue for the humans in the Hallelujah Mountains was that all the magnetic
Alta medium or whatever it is.
no, all the magnetic fields in the area and stuff means that they don't have like proper navigation and tracking and stuff.
Mhm.
So, but all of a sudden in this one they do.
No,
Because
they don't.
yeah,
In this one, they're just
they're literally like meet at this specific LZ. We're gonna be right there.
Yeah,
and
they
it's
pick 'em
like
up.
right next to where they are.
Yeah.
the only difference in this one is the fact that now, like, the local life attacks the planes. Because
No,
they-
that happened in the first one.
But what I'm saying, that's like the only factor because now they can still navigate
Yeah,
the area now.
that's true.
No, they can't though.
but they can.
No, they know where. So the Hallelujah Mountains, they know where things are. They can just go to those things. The problem is that their entire like just kind of radar system
Okay.
goes off, and now you're going in blind. You have to trust your memories and
Yeah.
your eyesight.
Okay.
If you know where the shack
But,
is, you could just go to the shack and
so-
just plop
But
it.
So here's
no,
my
hold on,
next thing
hold on.
then.
Let's not derail. Kevin was on a point.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that up real quick.
So the shack is, from my understanding, dangerously close to where they are.
Yeah.
If they have been fine being hidden in the Hallelujah Mountains throughout the entire year of campaign that they've been doing, suddenly they have a new weapon in Miles, Quaritch, and Blue Team. They were able to insert themselves so close to where they are, like dangerously close, and they almost got the Sully children. Is that not enough to go like, ah, shit, I'm
So-
out?
So hear me out on this then. Would it not be better to
Like,
then
do
be
you
like
you want the
No, here-
humans to like do some
no.
other like another?
So that's enough. That's fine with me. But here's the thing. Why not him be like, okay, we are having trouble, like, this blue team is new a threat. How about I try to get more allies to fight the humans while still being the chief? I'm going to go make relations with the water tribe to get some allies and figure out a way to, like, get everyone together. Like, I know that's what they're building up to, but the reason it could have been now to be like, oh, let me go to the water tribes. Let me go see if I can gather some forces.
You wanted him to just like recreate the
And-
ending of the first movie,
And
then
at the
just, like try to fight back.
yeah, but yeah, exactly. But like at the same time, get blue team off my tribe's back, and now they're just
That's a
hunting me
lot.
up. And now they're just now trying to track me at
I-
the islands.
I will.
I feel like that could have been
I
done and made sense.
I see your point, Kevin, but I also raise the fact that half of the kids that were captured are kids he's been actively taking with him into battles and on the front line, which still
He
makes
only takes Loak and Nateum with him because he's his oldest sons.
yeah.
And also he asked he
he
has
makes some
them
recon.
yeah he has them scout so that like they can call out danger like miles away.
Yeah.
I mean, true, but still, I don't know.
They were able to grab his daughters. So like that.
You mean Kitty? I mean Kiri. I
Like-
mean,
I could have been fine with him still like losing his chiefdom if like he couldn't obviously lead the tribe as a chief, but if he had to be like lose his like chiefdom in order to like
to go get help.
to
or
go
something.
get help,
But-
I would have been fine with.
So
But
like,
let's-
but like
Because the reason of just wanting to leave for your children's sake, I feel like wasn't enough.
well no it's not it's more than his children. It's like to
I mean, keep the-
save his like village
Yeah, but because
by
No-
like drawing their secret weapon Blue Team
Mm-hmm.
Blue Squad away from the
Right.
Omadakaya.
yeah, but like what I'm saying is like no matter what, like the forest tribe is always going to be under threat even without blue team there.
Not if they're in the Hallelujah Mountains because
But
like,
for how long? I'm
I-
talking like big picture here. For how long can they hold out before the humans really get settled and actually start like
Hold-
taking down the forest tribe?
So, I feel like we're getting hung up on this incident.
Mhm.
I do want to bring up like the Water Tribe specifically because that's the main point of the movie.
Right.
They're based off Maori like culture.
yeah like just Polynesian cultures.
Yes. I thought the way they like built up their culture as different and stuff, I kind of liked it. I did like what they
I agree
did.
with that. I did
will
like
s-
their culture.
I will say objectively, this movie is better than one.
Yeah.
I don't remember one enough to
I-
have an opinion.
My final opinion is that this movie is mid, but I am giving it its due credit. It is better than one.
You have a weird standard for mid. You've been talking about how the world building, the visuals have
Yeah, I
been
was
good.
to say, like-
all the characters have great arcs. Their acting is perfect.
Yeah.
This is average.
No, my only problem about the movie is how
I
they-
will take down Avatar
Listen.
if I have to go to James Cameron's
listen,
house
You
myself.
can't like fucking take a
Right.
test. All right, you have 85% of the answers correct. This test is mid.
I have to agree with Kevin.
Your
on that
average,
one.
your movie's okay.
Like, don't get me wrong. My only real problem with this movie is the story.
No,
That's it.
and that's my thing.
okay,
but-
I argue this.
But I am gonna say,
But that's why I gave it. That's why I gave it like its total is like a 7 out of 10.
I put it at around. I think I said 7 when
Yeah.
we were coming out of the theater too. I'm like, the visuals bring it up a lot, but I mean, I have stuff that I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of. However, I am also not a fan of the Avatar franchise in general. So take my opinion as you will, Navi heads.
Because go. Sorry, finish.
No, but I mean, that's just where I'm at. But go.
Sorry.
You're very excited.
I would say also like, yes, like a lot of these things were good, but I would also argue that the story takes a bigger cut of the pie percentage of my grading system. Like if visuals and stuff were each like maybe like 20% or something like that, and then maybe like, again, this is bad math coming out right now because I'm trying to make a point. I would argue
by
like
the time he's done, his like pie is going to equal
Like-
143.5%.
For me, the story is like the final. It's like the 20% of your grade. You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Like, it takes a big chunk. So, like, if the story's not good, everything else can be great, but it's still gonna be like, if the story was complete utter garbage, the movie would end up being like a below average for me.
Okay,
Fair.
So, the story is about a family or a person. Actually, you can kind of argue that Loak is the main character of this movie. But Jake Sully. This story is him living peacefully with his new family, getting fully embraced in their culture. His old world comes in to disrupt that, and he has to go run away. In doing so, he has to immerse himself into a new culture and is living on the generosity of his host in the hopes that his old world doesn't find him. Eventually they do, and it's up to him to like save his new home.
Mhm.
Is that not a good story?
Yeah.
I
That's
will say
fine.
that the Fast and Furious franchise has taken a weird turn with this movie. And-
Okay. All right. So that's the overarching thing.
Yeah.
Now, a story of the second son trying to live up to his father's expectations, but seems to be always failing, is also put into a situation where he has to now try to, other than earn the approval of his father, has to fit into a new situation, like a new school, and also take solace in the outcast whale that everyone else has
This
been doing.
blue pill is coming in strong.
I have a rebuttal for you, but I'll wait.
Okay.
Then
So
Is that not a good story?
So here's the thing. Both those things, I agree, sound like
Yes.
great stories. But what I'm saying is, I did not like how they executed those events, which is
Really?
why I don't like it as much. You see, does that make sense?
All right, so it's not about the story; it's about execution. then.
It's about execution.
but
Sorry,
it's
maybe
about but it's
my
about
bad.
execution of the story.
But like, sorry, maybe I didn't like explain that well enough.
Okay,
and
no,
that's
I'm
my
just
bad.
gonna try to break down everything until.
Like I said, I named one of the main points I didn't like.
Kevin
Yeah.
will not.
Another
leave this
one
room
is-
until Mike says,
Yeah,
"Oh,
and then
I do like Avatar too."
I never said I didn't like. I said it was. I said it was like good. It's like it's still a good movie overall. Like it's 7 out of 10.
Mhm.
That's a good movie to me.
That's rookie numbers for Kevin. He wants to bring that up to at least an 8.
And then like I said, certain scenes just I felt lingered too long for me.
Would you not think that?
Because I'm also like a lore junkie, so like when it was like on the lore stuff, I liked it. But when it was scenes where it's like they're just like moving slowly,
Okay,
and
now-
then they're
now-
just
If
like,
this
and I'm like,
was-
okay,
Now hold on. I'm willing to shoot myself in the foot for this point.
oh god,
There's another episode we're recording after this one where we're going to put those statements to the test.
yeah. and
Because-
I can tell you right now, I was not a fan of that one either.
Okay, well, anyways, Kevin, I want to give you
Yeah.
a lot of time in this section
Uh-huh.
because you've been I've been feeling your power level. You've been suppressing it.
He's ready. He's ready to pop.
My
My apologies.
The power level has been just peaking. It peaks and then it comes down a little bit, and then. But I want to
right.
give you more time.
I'm ready to be blue pilled now.
So this would be like much more digestible if you saw it in like 6 30 minutes episodes, right?
I would say,
Because, like, this
if
is
it
a-
shaved off 20 minutes, I'd be a little bit. I would throw away the part about it lingering too long.
Would this not be like an intriguing, like just kind of like 6-episode miniseries? Because like I
I
think
don't know if I would like it as a 6-episode miniseries.
because like there's. Do you think that like the amount of time given for like the kind of world that it's building is like sufficient, or do you think that you can properly appreciate the Metcaina people and their culture if they shaved everything down?
That's different. Well, I'm saying like when they linger on certain scenes too long, like not when they're adding things to like that are not when they're constantly adding things. That's fine. But when they're just staring off to something, I don't. Hurry up,
There are
you know?
certain beauty shots.
Yeah, the
that-
beauty shots. I was like, okay, move on.
Like, listen, I like Lord of the Rings. I can't complain about beauty shots too much,
Actually, I still do,
but
even though I like the extended edition.
In-
But they add things.
however, when you have 30 of them, you can cut some of them.
I think you're exaggerating a
No,
little
no,
bit.
no.
I don't think they-
Like I said only
I think-
20 minutes.
I
20
think
minutes
they're-
of like.
I think they were doing
long
a lot
shots.
of things, and I don't think they were just like shots where they or like scenes
Like,
where they
what's-
didn't do much, where it's just like
What's the
doing nothing
sister's
for
name?
too long.
Kitty?
Kiri,
Yeah, I felt
like
like
Sigourney Weaver.
I felt like her scenes lingered too long at certain points, and I was just kind of like, okay.
I will say I'm
Um,
not looking forward to Navi Jesus.
I'm not looking
'Cause
for that
that's-
either. But who
that's-
knows? They could win me over. I'm open to like being won over on that one. But like I said, only 20 minutes. Like there's certain scenes that I was like, this is like taking like 5 additional minutes I did not need. Or like there were scenes where, because like scenes when they were like doing things, not just it was just
Yeah, they were
beautiful to
learning
look.
how to swim. And
Yeah,
learning
I
how to
was
fish.
all about that stuff. As long as they kept going at it with like certain like things, or when they were talking about things, I was all about that.
Yeah.
It was just the ones where nothing was said, and it was just them like not doing anything.
Those scenes were basically just Kiri actually just appreciating the majesty of.
I like to call,
But that's just me.
I like to
know
call
that-
those scenes like character flavor.
Yeah.
Because they're there explicitly to add more flavor to the characters they've introduced or that is in the story, trying to give you more of their personality, or like Kevin said,
they
like
did it too many times, in my personal opinion.
It's Kiri looking at fish,
Eh,
and then just like a lot of animals suspiciously surrounding her, and like
yeah,
just
and I got they did it too many times for me. They
Yeah.
They did it too many times for me because I understood it the first time they did it.
I was like, okay, yeah, she's
Okay.
special.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
She's special. Okay, cool.
But
But
who's
then-
her
they did
dad
it-
though?
Yeah. And so
Sigourney Weaver fucked the
yeah.
earth.
Yeah, so like just like scenes like that, I was all about when they were like talking tactics, or when they were just like talking like when he was teaching
So
them how
you-
to like ride the animals. I was all about that.
so you could say Pandora had its way with her.
And it's like she was a corpse by then, right?
Also, I was not a fan of the boats. I feel like that was
The fishing boats?
yeah.
What's wrong with the fishing boats?
I feel like
Or the harpoon boats?
the harpoon boats were just seemed like bad ideas. Like like if the crabs legit.
I mean,
I
like,
was
have you-
all about the crabs.
I mean, like,
But-
haven't you ever whaled before?
I mean, you kind of
Yeah.
no. Here's what I'll say.
for what they
I-
were hunting and stuff like that, you wouldn't use boats like that.
Yeah, you would.
I
feel
think
like,
you need something like maneuverable and like something that can hold a
Because
harpoon.
you need a boat that's big enough and has enough power
Horsepower, yeah.
to be
Like
able
fast.
to hold one of those things on it
Mhm.
and to be able to like drag it, because that's how real whale hunting. Have you seen whale hunting boats? They're almost the size of like freight carriers. Some of them, not all of them, but
yeah,
they're
freight carriers. You have these little tiny dinghies that are like shooting the harpoons at the whales. I'm talking about the little boats, the little baby boats, the ones that were like fitting like 4 people on them.
some
I wasn't a fan of those boats. I was like,
yeah,
you
but
could have had better boats.
But they were but like the submarines were shooting the like
submarines. I was fine with. I was fine with submarines. I thought they were cool.
They were shooting the airbags.
Yeah.
And then the dinghy, Actually, yeah. What
Yeah!
was the...
It's a
They were-
harpoon, the giant harpoon that's on
yeah,
it.
but
Yeah.
why wouldn't that be on a bigger boat that has
That's
more
my
weight?
point.
Because it can't catch up to the whales.
They literally
The gi-
shoot things at them to like mark them.
Yeah, so the giant like super carrier
And
ships, they only have one of, and
That's
they're
what
not
I'm saying.
gonna fucking just chase one whale.
what I'm saying
you
is,
need
like-
oh
But
wait, it's
there was no
swarm.
need for them be harpoon guns. They just need to be guns that can shoot the
No,
things.
actually,
and then, like,
no. I'm being caught defending this movie, but
No,
I am gonna defend the parts they do right.
And you know why you're
No,
able to defend it? Because the writing is
No, here's
good.
the thing, here's the thing.
world building.
I
and
know
the
what you're
Some
gonna
of
say.
the
I know what
writing
you're
is
gonna
good.
say. Okay, hold on. I know what
So-
you're gonna say. Let me.
No, you let me say it,
Okay, fine,
motherfucker.
say it. Defend yourself.
Okay, it makes sense because in normal whale hunting, you need the bigger boat in order to keep the whale towards the surface,
Right.
and to tire it out.
Right.
That is compensated with the airbags they attach to the whale.
And that's what I was
It
gonna say.
keeps
The
it from
airbags I
diving.
understood, but there was no reason for them to be like harpoon guns that have
Yes,
ropes
yes.
attached to them.
Yes.
You need fast, small boats in order to like outmaneuver the whales and like catch up.
So
because
what-
the giant super carrier can only like follow. It's also at the same time it's
And
already
the
following
reason why they have the ropes is because remember the harpoons are have an exploding tip, so they kill the whale, and then they can take the rope and they can attach it to a winch on the big carrier and just drag it in. Because that's also what they do. Because the crab things get on it and they put the hooks on it, so they attach additional line to help carry it in how they want to.
You made a solid argument there. I got blue pilled on that one.
Yeah, I
That's
will.
fair.
I will
That's fair.
say, although
It's because of the fight scene, how they use them in the fight scene. I was like, that was dumb.
again,
The-
I am going to say, I think final score. I would recommend people see this movie. It is better than Avatar 1, although I have my personal reasons for not liking it as much as some other people. Objectively, I would say it's a decent movie and worth watching. Are you happy, Kevin? Is
You
that
know
what?
what?
you wanted?
I got blue
My
pilled.
pants are
I'll
so
give it a
tight.
7. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. I was blue pilled on that one. I'll give it
Please,
a
I
se-
can't fail this test. Is there any other way I can make up that grade?
Can you bring back Avatar 1, Sigourney Weaver?
it-
As Kevin says, she had to have had some decisions in.
Yeah, but the mother I think did a great job, like acting.
Neytiri?
Like not. Yeah, I think she did a great job. I believe
Yeah,
her as a
there's-
character.
Oh, by the way,
I
that,
fucking talked about how cold she was in the last 30
I
minutes.
Dude-
thought that was so cool.
dude, that entire
scene-
end fight scene was rad.
Yeah,
up
it
until a
was.
certain point. But
Yeah.
I do love that at one point she fires an arrow into a guy, then picks up the guy,
Yeah.
with the arrow and shoots the arrow out of his body.
And
it was like,
headshots.
oh, fuck! Literally during like Natiri's rampage, the three of us are going, oh, shit!
We're losing
This
it.
is so cool!
We were
This is
losing.
angry mom energy.
Can we do that more, please?
I mean, like, it's Jim Cameron, dude. It's like fucking made Terminator.
He
So,
can be okay. But anyways,
So
There's a bunch of shit that in this movie we have
Yeah.
not touched.
we can
Yeah.
go on for like another hour.
But I feel like
but
you need to go see it to really appreciate it. Again, it's for me, 7.5 out of 10, which is now a gooder movie. I guess it's right in between good and great.
I will say, seeing it in the IMAX high frame rate, I was like, whoa!
I was surprised that I don't know if it's if these gamers eyes are turning into gamer eyes, but like 48 used to be like kind of just like unnerving. Because like, you know, watching Hobbit at 48, and then I was like, for Avatar 2, 48 plus 3D plus IMAX plus L plus ratio, I was like,
This looks good.
this looks fine. Like, it's like I don't
Yeah.
feel.
I didn't feel sick or anything
Here's
like that.
Yeah,
here's
I don't-
my thing.
It wasn't taking me out.
I think Hobbit wasn't filmed for high frame
Yeah.
rate. I think it was filmed for 24, and then it was like in editing adjusted to make
like
high frame
interpolated
rate.
to 48.
Exactly.
There were certain times though when I would turn my head, just because at the angle we were sitting at, I would then be kind of like, that doesn't look right. But
Because-
that's just the angle we were sitting at. That has nothing to do with the film itself.
I also remember that when Hobbit was running in theaters and Kevin and I were working for the theater at the same time, the high frame rate show times were slightly shorter than the normal showtimes.
I don't
Would-
remember that.
I remember that, and that's why I think there is a slight difference. Anyways, I think the general recommendation is it's worth a watch. It's worth to go see.
You have to see it in theaters, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin wasn't a big fan of it, but I mean, we'll leave it at that. Okay.
Movie fucking sucked.
But with that, I'm Ritter.
I'm Mike.
I see you.
I did it.
Bye.
Yeah, some are pretty good, but we'll just suck ass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch with us, we're Cinema Buds.